violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Cleveland, however, like urban areas across the United States, has seen a rise in violent crime, especially in gun violence.
In the wake of more gun violence tonight, there was a plea and a push from the city of Cleveland for calm.
Today, Cleveland Mayor
A plea and a push. I guess they call themselves Pushing Pete in. Because I'm going to tell you what, man. Ain't no plea and no push finna stop these super gremlins on demon time.
Ashton Bibb and the interim police chief met with other city leaders to discuss what they're doing to put an end to gun violence.
Neil Fisher was there and has the staggering numbers that the city is seeing and what's being done to address them.
As we near the halfway point of the year, gun violence continues to surge. According to the Cleveland Police Department, 495 people have been shot and 52 people have died as a result of...
Wow. And this is Cleveland, a.k.a. Bleveland, a.k.a. Bleedland. They getting busy, man. They are getting busy. And, you know, it's not really shocking looking at the leadership in the Bleveland community.
Of a gun.
We're seeing victims from ages 3 up to 101 years old. And our children are becoming victims of negligence and victims of thoughtless gun violence.
Just this week, a 10-year-old boy was accidentally shot and killed in his home after his aunt fired a gun. The bullet went through the ceiling and hit the boy in the head.
Wow.
Interim Police Chief Wayne Drummond was emotional Tuesday as he reflected on the shooting.
As a police officer for 33 years, I'm thinking to myself, what can I do? What can we do collectively?
So, at least he cares, right? His heart is in the right place. It looks like he actually wants to see some solutions to this issue, but the thing is, when you move with emotion instead of logic, then there's no way to solve this issue, okay? These things, man, they absolutely come from a culture that we have overindulged in for the longest. And it seems like there's no turning back because you can't talk any sense into a lot of these people.
To prevent those things from happening.
The group of leaders announced an effort to keep the public aware of their efforts to reduce gun violence, including taking over 1,000 guns off of streets this year. The interim chief expecting that number to double by the end of the year, as well as putting officers on the streets to interact with communities in hopes of curbing the violence.
Watch for a police shooting in Cleveland soon, okay? They're throwing out more cops. Watch for a police shooting to be race-baited, okay? There's going to be something come out of this city because, and I think that's, you know, kind of what they want, right? They're amping up the violence so that when they do say, hey, we need more police in there, police are going to have to do their damn job. And sometimes that means they're going to have to take one of these super gremlins out.
Requiring every officer working in the first and second shift to do at least 1 hour of walking the beat to make sure we have active presence in our communities across the city.
The violence that's ensued not only taking a toll on the citizens of Cleveland, but for all first responders.
Seeing the most innocent among us, the children of our community with injuries that are incompatible with life as they lie sleeping in their bed or playing outside in their front yard. The acts of violence have taken an emotional toll on all the Division of EMS members.
Those numbers that we just gave you, 495 people shot so far this year in Cleveland, has unfortunately gone up, as Lydia reported earlier. 3 teenagers shot just about 5 o'clock tonight. One thing, Laura, that they did mention today during the press conference, EMS says they're treating more teenagers, more people under the age of 18 than they are other folks around the Cleveland area. Staggering statistics.
And we know that the #1 cause of death between black men between the ages of 18 and 24 are these super gremlins on demon time. So, I mean, Cleveland's they're lucky that they don't have as many deaths in these 495, now 500 shootings this year.
Statistic as we continue to look towards the end of this gun violence.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, we're talking about children here. All right, Neil Fisher live for us tonight. Neil, thank you.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo!
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
that
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Now another tragic story from Cleveland. The family of a 10-year-old boy killed last night says his aunt accidentally shot him.
The bullet traveled into an upstairs bedroom where Cayden Williams was playing with his cousin. January Keaton has this story.
When we met Cayden Williams' uncle James Powells today, he told us he's still in shock.
I don't even know how to feel because I haven't processed it all myself.
James says his 10-year-old nephew Cayden was in an upstairs bedroom yesterday afternoon at this East 77th Street home near Donald Avenue when an aunt downstairs accidentally fired a gun into the living room ceiling.
Wow. Somebody come get Auntie. She done had too much to drink. She cutting up, acting a fool downstairs, and shoots the 10-year-old boy. And, you know, looking from this young boy's picture, it looks like, you know, to me, it looks like there might be some, how do I say? He might be suffering from some type of disease. It looks like his head is very large. Maybe some genetic disorder. I'm not sure. I don't want to, you know, act like I know what's going on with him. But, you know, there might be some mental issues that is going on with that family. Not saying that this young boy suffered from mental issues, but I don't know. It just looks like his head may be deformed in some way, which makes it even more sad, man, that his life was taken by, you know, a crazy ass auntie instead of, you know, whatever illness he was suffering from.
A gun into the living room ceiling. A cousin was showing the family an extended Glock clip that he recently legally purchased.
It wasn't even a minute before she had it in her hand and just pow. and all you heard was doo. It was so loud. It was boo. Yeah, it boo.
The bullet
What? And that's the uncle? Beep, beep. What?
In her hand and just pow. And all you heard was doo. It was so loud. It was boo. Yeah, it boo.
The bullet traveled through the floor of the bedroom Cayden was in upstairs, striking him in the head. A 15-year-old cousin upstairs with Cayden at the time ran downstairs to tell the family Cayden had been hit.
She came down hysterically, frantically, like we thought it was just because of the gunshot. And come to figure out, man, he got hit.
Cayden was struck in the side of the head. His mother, Courtney, ran upstairs and called police. Cayden, her only child, was rushed to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, but died late last night. Across the street, neighbor Kim is in disbelief.
It's sad. It's real sad. It's sad and it's just heartbroken.
Cayden's uncle says the family is riddled with questions and regret.
What did I say, man? When you got the sisters out here with the straps, and I believe she was like playing with an extendo clip. She got a new extendo clip and wanted to put it in the firearm. But a lot of times, you know, if you're mixing these different add-ons to the gun, it might not be compatible, and you might have a misfire here and there. And it's unfortunate that it took this boy's life, but oh man, these sister gremlins are on demon time.
It's a lot of guilt. It's a lot of finger pointing.
Now, the aunt has been arrested in this shooting, but no word on what she's faced with as far as charges go as police continue to investigate this one. Now, Uncle James described Cayden as one of the smartest kids he's ever met. He could hold intelligent conversation with adults, and he said that will be what he misses most about the little boy. We will, of course, keep you updated on.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess, you know, the big head actually helped him in his communication skills and whatnot. I just thought it was odd that his head was so big, but maybe it's because he got a big old brain in there.
In this one, Russ.
Yeah, sad beyond words. All right, January, thank you.
You know, Tiffany, mistake or not, a young life has been lost. Now a family bearing the double burden of the shooting. A young boy brought here to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, and if what one of them told me is true, another family member pulled the trigger.
The sister-in-law had the gun. And she just was looking at it.
Deadly consequences after the mishandling of a gun. It's happened before. Regrettably, it will happen again. This time, the shooting death of 10-year-old Cayden Williams in this house on East 77th Street, the St. Clair Superior Avenue community. 12:30 this morning.
The fallout from last night, I'm quite sure he's deceased.
That worst possible news confirmed by the medical examiner's office to me this afternoon.
She didn't mean it, you know, it just was an accident.
James Power is his little Cayden's great uncle. He told 19 News what happened and gave us this picture. Predictably, he's heartbroken.
Like, before we knew it, she didn't even have the gun, like not even a minute, and it just went off.
It went off. Dude, she pulled the trigger. She pulled the trigger. She didn't know how to handle the weapon. She threw that extendo clip on there and got excited. And now she has to suffer the consequences and be accountable for her actions. These sister gremlins are on demon time.
A bullet from the gun struck Cayden in his head. He was rushed to UH Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospitals for treatment. He didn't make it. What kind of young man was he?
Oh man, he was real smart, like real smart, like technologically savvy, fiery kid. Like he wouldn't push over. He's just smart. I hadn't seen a 10-year-old that had that much, you know, common sense or knowledge. Like he was exceptional.
We will never find out what he might have been. His life cut way too short, with all of his blessings and potential lost forever in a split second.
And before we knew it, pow, it was a boop type noise. Couldn't hear for a second. Then my niece came downstairs frantic, like just hysterical, and we was like, "Oh yeah, it's just a gun," you know. No, he had got.
It's just a gun. Yo, the great uncle's taking this really well.
Got hit.
We better understand why that aunt came running downstairs after a shot was fired. A mishandled firearm discharged downstairs. The slug went through the ceiling, ricocheted off a mirror, and struck the 10-year-old in his head in the bedroom where he was. Now, that aunt has been arrested. I'm Harry Boomer, 19.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.